go ahead and get started. And just so you know, the reason why I have Miss Anishka on today's episode is we've actually known each other and been connected since high school. So I can honestly say when I've had moments where I kind of got distracted and started to look at, okay, this person is doing this and I'm not at that level yet, I look to people like Anishka and some of my other friends who are living their best life in spite of what societal pressures are put on them. They're still living their lives. So people like Anishka encourage me to keep pushing, keep striving. So she's on today. So we're going to have a great conversation. It's going to be very casual. We have a couple discussion questions. So we're just going to dig on in. You ready, Anish?
Girl, yes, I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. So tell me, 5 years ago, where did you see your life and how has your life currently changed since what you projected it to be? So 5 years ago, maybe you saw yourself in another state, another whole life situation. Where did you see yourself back then?
Yeah, a lot has changed since 5 years. And 5 years ago, what I planned for my life is completely different from what I'm living right now because 5 years ago, I was 24. I
Mhm.
was fresh out the military. I did 6 years active duty in the Air Force, you know. Yeah, best decision ever was to join the military, seriously. But yeah, the whole reason why I moved to Atlanta was to finish up court reporting school full time.
Mhm.
So my school was in Atlanta. So when I got out the military, I moved straight to Atlanta. I became an in-house full-time student. And my whole goal, my whole plan was to become the best court stenographer in the world. That was my dream, my whole plan, you know.
Yeah.
So I moved to Atlanta and I finished up my degree. I graduated, got my degree. And then unknowingly, which was totally unplanned, I fell into acting, you know.
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
was totally unexpected.
Mhm.
So I got into acting because when I graduated from my court reporting school, I was actually in the process of getting my license, getting certified, looking for courtroom positions as a court stenographer. But
Mhm.
then during that process, when I first graduated, my school asked me, like, hey, Anishka, you should audition for our TV commercial. So I said,
Mhm.
okay, sure, I'll audition. And I had no idea what would happen after I auditioned, but after I auditioned, I actually booked one of the roles. And once I booked that role, that sparked my entire acting career, you know. So I blame my school for getting me into acting. So
Yeah,
yeah,
remember that commercial?
yeah, yeah, that commercial sparked my whole interest because I fell in love with the entire process of the acting, you know, and like I said, that was totally unplanned. And if you would have told me 5 years ago that I would be acting, I would have thought you were lying. I'm like, ain't no way I'm gonna be acting. Because my whole mindset, my whole focus and passion was photography. Don't get me wrong, I still got the skill,
Yeah.
but I'm not currently working in that field now. My whole focus is acting. So, yes, 5 years, so much has changed that I had no idea what happened. So, yeah.
I hear you. So for me, 5 years ago, I was actually married. So 29
Yes.
now. 5 years ago, I was 24. And if you had asked me back then, where I projected my life to be in 5 years, I would have said a whole bunch of kids, obviously still married, homeowner. Like I had all these goals and ideas in my head. And I don't think anybody really gets married with the intention of getting a divorce, obviously. Most people don't. But, in that process back then, to see where I am now is absolutely the opposite.
Yeah.
So I think I kind of got to a place where I was accepting where I am right now when I realized, plans don't always happen like you expect them to. Things change, and that's okay. We just have to kind of roll and flow with it as it happens. I think for a while I was looking around me at the other people who maybe 5 years ago we were in the same season, like we were all getting married and stuff. And then now, 5 years later, they are still in those, stages of having kids and stuff, and I'm not. So I
Right.
started to compare where I am now to where they are now, and I lost focus. So, I think looking back to 5 years ago, even though things didn't turn out how I expected them to, I think everything that I went through, everything that I experienced had a purpose bigger than what I could see, because I was very tunnel vision. Like, I wanted this by this age, this by this age. And I think a lot of it was pressure I was putting on myself and pressure from other people being put onto me. So I'm, like I said, definitely nowhere near where I thought I would be, but I'm content in that,
I hear you, girl. I hear you.
Yeah. So, like, when you're thinking about your closest friends, like your tribe, right? Are they in similar life stages as you, or are they mostly married or with kids? Because I will say a majority of my friends are parents. Not all of them are married, but a majority of them have children. And so when we want to hang out and stuff, I do have to be respectful of the fact that they have to find childcare or, check with their spouse and things like that. So it can be a bit of a challenge when I'm not interacting with my single friends, but most of my friends do have kids. So, like, what is your tribe like in terms of their stage in life right now?
Yeah, for me, it's half and half. On one hand, I have friends who are like me, where single, never been married, no children, no kids.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other hand, I have friends who are, like you said, married and they got kids, and or some friends are married but then got divorced, and they have kids, or some of my friends are single, never been married, and they have kids. But yeah, but my friends who are like me, who are single with no kids, never been married, I think that they feel like me because I'm single. Not because I want to be. I'm single because the right man hasn't found me yet. We haven't found each other yet.
Yeah.
So I refuse to settle. And
Oh,
that's why
I talk
I,
about that too.
that's why I'm single. And my friends who are like me, I feel as if they feel similar to my situation. Like they're not gonna just get married just to get married.
Yeah.
They're holding out and being patient and trusting in God like I am for the right one. So, but my friends who are married with kids or, divorced with kids or whatever they're in, that's their season to be going through that. And it's my season to be going through what I'm going through. And I believe that I'm in the right season. I'm in the right season for me, and I am where I am because it's supposed to be that way. I trust in God and everything. So yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, I think that made sense. But
No, it did. And to piggyback on the topic of settling, because I know a lot of people are out here settling just to have somebody. So, in your opinion, in your dating experience, have you ever felt the pressure to settle for mediocre instead of waiting for yes, honey? Because I know for me, like in dating, I have met guys who, if you have a quote unquote list, there may be 8 out of 10 of the core values that I look for in a man, right? However, they're missing one that is like that supersedes all of the rest. For instance, I met a guy, great on paper, treated me very nicely, educated, conscious about health and wellness, like all the things that I look for. However, he considered himself to be an atheist, right? And so there are people out here who will say, okay, well, he meets 8 of the 10. Let me just see over time if he changes his opinion and things like this. But one of my mentors told me this. She said, if this person you're pursuing never changes a thing about who they are right now, could you still see yourself pursuing them? Because that's very much a possibility. And so I looked at it and I was like, you know what? No, because I'm Team Jesus all day. So when, if we get into biblical scripture, like when they discuss like being yoked together, if he is on one level and I'm on another level and we're going our separate ways, there's no way for us to be yoked together. One is going to be pulling the other in the other direction. So for me, that was something I wasn't willing to compromise on or settle on. But there are other people, men and women, who will settle on people who have very poor finance management, high levels of debt, very promiscuous lifestyles or unhealthy lifestyles. But people will accept them in their lives because at least they have someone, or at least they can say, oh, I'm in a relationship. So what is your take on settling? You kind of touched on it a little bit, but have you ever felt the pressure to settle?
Girl, that's why I'm still single, because I refuse to settle. And like you said, like I am trusting in God. I trust in his perfect timing, and I never felt the need to settle. But don't get me wrong, I do go out on dates here and there. I do. But none of those dates turned out to be serious enough to where I want to be serious with that man, And yeah, I do go out on dates and stuff, but I'm not the kind of girl to just settle and just to be with him just to say I have a man. No, girl, girl, no. No, so to keep it short and simple, no.
Yes.
That's why I'm still single.
Listen, I'm with you on that. Well, let me ask you, so in your opinion, do you feel like people in our age group are really ready to be married? Or do you think it's more so they are seeking companionship, sex, the things they think come with marriage? Or do you think that they genuinely are ready? Because from what I've seen, because I've experienced marriage and I can speak to it, I think that there is this facade that is painted about what marriage really is. And it is a beautiful thing when it's in purpose and with the right person, but when it's not, I think I read this in one of my premarital books. It basically said that when you get married, right, your spouse is like a mirror to you, right? So if you're mean and nasty before marriage, your spouse is going to reflect that out of you and maximize it, If you are, some people think that once they get married, they won't be promiscuous anymore. No. Anything that you are pre-marriage is only maximized post-marriage. So I know for me, like going into marriage, I didn't get as much premarital counseling as I should have, right? So there were a lot of things that I didn't think about, a lot of things that I didn't discuss previously. So now going into marriage, I have a different lens. So when, I'm not going to say if, but when I do get married again, I know things to discuss. I know things to process through with this person that I'm going to marry. But I think a lot of people just think of it as, oh, I can finally have someone who's going to be with me forever. I finally have a companion every week and every day, and I can have all the sex I want, right? But in reality, it is not that. It can be that, but it is not always that. So do you think people really know what they're getting into concerning marriage?
I can't speak for everyone, but I do want to say that for my friends who are like me and single with no kids, I think they have the same mindset like me, where they do not want to rush into marriage and make that commitment with the wrong kind of man. So they're holding out, like I'm holding out. Yeah. So I can't speak for the ones who are married, because I'm not married yet, but the people who are like me, like I said, I think that they're just being cautious and not rushing the process, and they're not forcing themselves to be in those situations, because I think that they feel like if they rush into marriage just to say that they're married, that they may end up divorced. So I think they have that mindset like me, you know, because I'm 29 and I'm being patient, you know. So I just feel like my friends who are in the same boat as me feel, you know, the way I feel. So yeah. So
Yeah.
they're aware of that. You know, marriage is serious, and yeah, they don't want to rush into that. So yeah, that's
Hmm.
what I thought that. Yeah.
Okay, on the topic of being patient. So, there's a lot of things we hear in our era about our biological clock, right? And as far as like you need to have kids before 35 or your risks are higher, or,
Yeah.
all those things that we hear from medical professionals and just people in general. You may go to a family function or holiday dinner, or when you gonna get a man, when you gonna get married, all the what we got all the stuff we hear, right? Um, do you ever feel pressure to accomplish like being a mother, becoming a wife, based on pressures from other people? Is that something that you experience?
Yeah, you're absolutely right when you say that women, we have a biological clock, which is very, very true. Like the older you get, the more at risk you are for having babies and stuff. You know, that is very true. But for other milestones in life, I feel, in my opinion, that there's no deadline to
Mm,
accomplish your goals. There's
yeah,
no expiration date to get this, that, and that done. You know, 'cause I think some people, they have this, not everyone, but some people have this old fashioned mindset that when you become 30, you're old and you should have all these things accomplished before 30. But no, at everyone's situation, everyone everyone's paths are different. You know,
yeah,
you can't compare where you are in life to someone else's because you're two different people, you know, and you
yeah,
have two different purposes in life. And like I said, just be patient, don't rush anything. And like I've been saying, I trust in God and His perfect timing. And when it's supposed to happen for me, it will happen. I'm 29, I'm still young, I still got time, you know.
hello.
um, yeah, but like I said, for milestones in life, there's no deadline. Like buying a house, getting married, there's no deadline for that. But to have a child, there is a deadline for that. You know, when you think about it, you know, you are more at risk for, you know, when you get older and having a child, you are more at risk the older you get. You know, that's the only deadline I see. You know, but other things in life, like accomplishing your goals and buying a house, getting married, and buying a car, opening up a business, different things like that. There's no deadline for that, and I don't feel pressure in that, you know, regard. So yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, now we're seeing women having babies, twins at that, at like 35, 38. So granted,
Yeah.
yes, the risk is higher, but to your point, like I think we have to stop pressuring ourselves with all these specific timelines. I know for me, like I was very hesitant to start the process of purchasing my own home because I was just like, can I do it by myself? Like, do I need a husband to qualify? Like all these, negative thoughts I was telling myself, because of pressure, I think that I put on myself and pressure that other people put on me. But to our next point, like for those right now who are watching this, right? Let's say they are absolutely miserable being single and they are not enjoying this process at all. Do you have any tips or advice for them on how they can really like live their best life, but actually really live their best life and not just put on for social media, but actually be happy inside?
Yeah, I do. But before I get to that and answer that question, I want to add one more thing to the
Yeah,
last
absolutely.
question, last topic. I don't think that anyone should live their life according to a man-made timetable or a man-made calendar. You should not live your life that way, you know. So I wanted to, add that in there. But anyway, to answer your
That
question,
was good. That was good.
Yeah, that's how I feel. But to answer the next question, people who are single and feel like their life is miserable, they should not feel that way because you may end up being miserable being with a man or woman that you don't want to be with, you know?
Oh,
So I think that my advice to that is to, I think every opportunity that you have to go out and meet people and socialize, take advantage of that because I think it's important to make yourself available and be open, and it don't hurt to get cute every now and then and go out and socialize and
yep.
you should not be so closed offish because it's not cute. Like you'll never attract anyone being closed offish. So I think it's important to be open, be available wherever you go, be cute, and yeah,
Hmm.
take advantage of opportunities to socialize and meet people. And yeah, that's what I say.
Okay, okay. No, and that's great because to your point, like there are literally people who go to work, maybe go to church, the gym, and go home, and they're complaining that they're not meeting anybody. But I charge them to get out, like do something, find a hobby, find a new activity that you enjoy, gardening, dancing, like go to a salsa spot, like do a painting class, do something because even if we want to take it biblically, right? Ruth was working when she found Boaz, okay? So like if you really think about it, like if you're in your element, doing what God called you to do, doing what you're gifted to do, that is when you may be most likely to cross paths with that person for you. You're not going to meet them if you're home behind a TV, sobbing, eating ice cream, watching Netflix. Like, you're just not. And I can honestly say, like, I meet more people when I go out by myself and just enjoy my own company. That is when I meet. When I'm out with my friends, I rarely meet guys, potential guys. But when I just go out, maybe sit at the bar, order me a pina colada or something, and just like listen to live jazz or something, that is when I meet the most people. And I can honestly say, like, when I got to a place of being comfortable with being comfortable by myself, that is when I felt more confident. That is when I was more encouraged to go out and try new things. I discovered I had different talents, like with painting and dancing and gardening. Like it was when I spent alone time with me, is when I found I had all that in me. So if you're miserable, I mean, there are married people who are absolutely miserable,
Yeah.
absolutely miserable and lonely. Um, there's a lot of people who look to marry these doctors and lawyers and stuff, but the person is always working, so they're really like living as a single person.
Yeah.
So always think about that. Like, if you're miserable now, getting someone is not going to change that. You have to be happy and content in you before that person comes into the picture. So I definitely agree with you on that. Um,
Absolutely.
Something I want to ask you is a little juicy. So when dating people who are, our age group, 30, a little older or whatever, what has your experience been like? Because I'm going to tell you what mine has been like. In dating, I've met, some nice guys. It's been some nice ones here and there. But when I meet guys who are, over 30, um, they are shocked when I tell them that I'm single and I don't have any kids. Like it's like shocking to them. And I don't know, I guess it's common, for people in our age group to have kids and stuff. But I can honestly say like my experience has been like meeting a nice person, things go good, and then they kind of ghost. Like it's this whole ghost thing that they do, and then they pop up like a month or two later, like, "Hey, stranger." I kid you not. That has been my experience for a good chunk of the people that I've met. I'd say in the past couple months. So, what has been your experience?
Yeah. So if someone did that to me, like you said, and like a month later they pop back up and say, "Hey, stranger, girl," I would just block the man. Like if you're serious about me, if you were serious about me, you would be texting me or calling me within that same week But for you to
Right.
take a whole month to get
Yeah.
back to me, I'm blocking your number. I don't play that. That happened to me actually, because I met, well, more than one occasion it happened to me. You know, I'll meet somebody, we'll exchange numbers and stuff like that. And after a week, if he don't, because I don't know, if he don't reach out to me after he initiated everything. And if he do not reach out to me with a phone call or a text within a week, I will block you. I've done that multiple times because if you're serious about me, you would have been calling me within that week, girl. But yeah, um, I know that the older you get, like 30 plus, maybe even 40, it's kind of hard to find a man who has no kids because you're 40. So, but I am open to dating someone, who's 30 plus, absolutely. And also, if I come across a man who's my age, like 30 or 29, something like that, and they have no kids, never been married, I think that they're in a situation like me, how they have yet to find a woman to be serious with, and they're waiting on that right one. So if I do come across someone who's 30 plus, that's what I think. I don't give them the side eye. I just think that they feel the way I feel. They're holding out on the right woman. Like I'm holding out for the right man. That's why I'm the way I am, single, no kids. So yeah, I'm open. I'm actually open to dating both. Someone in my shoes and also someone who's like a little bit older, maybe 40, and they have kids or a child. I am open. Before I wasn't open to that,
Yeah.
but now the older I get at 29, I'm like, I'm becoming more open to that because it makes sense that the older you get, it may be kind of hard to find someone with no kids and never been married. But yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna wrap it up in a minute, but last question for you before we tie everything in together. Can you tell me 3 things that you've accomplished more recently as a single woman, killing it, by the way, because you've had so much free time and energy to give to so much as a single woman? Can you just kind of share 3 things that have been huge accomplishments for you lately?
Yeah, you said the right word, freedom, because when you are single like us, you do have freedom to do a lot of things,
Yeah.
and I am still in the process of accomplishing my goals, but 3 recent accomplishments I've achieved so far. The first one I would have to say would be getting out of the military with an honorable discharge, which is a huge accomplishment. I'm a staff sergeant, I got out. That's an E5. The second one would be graduating from court reporting school with my degree. A
Yes.
third one would be getting into acting and just unexpected. And my most recent one would be buying my first house. That's
Yes,
like
that's what
another
I'm
one.
waiting for.
Yeah, yeah, that. So yeah, and like I said, I'm still in the process of accomplishing more goals. So I think that yeah, I will always be, as long as I live, I will always be in the process of accomplishing goals. I have so many goals that I want to accomplish, and yeah, that'll never stop. That'll never stop. So.
Awesome. And I'm so proud of you. Like I said, I watch your progress. I've watched you over the years, and you really are killing it, ma'am. I would say for me, in this season of being single, I launched a business. Um, I changed careers, and I really tapped into like my gift in terms of like holistic medicine and just herbal medicine and things like that. Like I've been doing research and reading a lot and doing a lot of research on that particular topic. And had I been in a relationship, I don't think I would have accomplished all that I have in this short time frame because I know me, and when I am in a relationship, like I give a lot and I put a lot into it, and sometimes that results in me forgetting about me and my gifts and my goals and what I want because I'm so focused on like building up that person that I neglect me and my dreams. So I would say in this process, I've learned that that is not the way that it should work. I need to have God come first, then me, and then the person. And before I had that all twisted. So I would say, looking ahead, um, home ownership is at the top of my list. And I no longer have that fear of, can I do it by myself? Because I know that I can. And I have people like you that I look to, and that encourages me and pushes me to keep going. And I guess to tie everything together from our discussion today, I think it's just important for us to remember that we all have our own season. We all are on a different time schedule, and we have to stop allowing the pressures of the concept of a timeline dictate how we live our lives. Because for me, it wasn't until maybe like age 27, 29 now, so a couple years ago, 2 years ago, that I finally realized I made this timeline for myself. This is not how I have to live, because I think I missed out on a lot of living because I was so focused on the wrong things in most of my 20s. So now, I'm kind of like reclaiming my time.
I hear that.
Yes, I'm really like identifying my gifts. Like they're just pouring out. Like for instance, this talk show, like this has been something I've wanted to do since college, like freshman year of college, but I never like had the push to do it, but now it's like I've God's been stirring up so much in me, and it's just pouring out. I have to like kind of reel myself in sometimes and just take it step by step, but like there's so much in me, like so many gifts, so many ideas and concepts and business ideas. And I just embrace that now, because before I was so focused on different things that I was neglecting those gifts that God had put in me. So I'm just happy that, I had to go through all of that to finally get to the place that I am in now. Now, I am not saying that I do not want to be married and have children. I absolutely do. But as you said, in God's timing with the right person. So is there anything else you wanted to say to wrap things up for today?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it and all your kind words. And I pray much success to you. And I pray that your talk show blossoms into something much more bigger. So you're taking the right step by starting it this way. So much success to you. Thank you once again. I really appreciate everything, girl.
Thank you, Anishka.
You're in my prayers. You're in my prayers, Andrea. You're in my prayers. So.
Thanks, girl. Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.
For our viewers, thank you for tuning in. The next episode will be launching next month, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And make sure you, like I said, click down below and subscribe and turn on your notifications. And if there's something on your mind that you want to talk about, make sure you add it in the comments below, and maybe we can add it to the list of upcoming topics. So thank you for tuning in. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Thanks again, girl.